unplanned conversation, but something that I'm really excited to talk about and go live with. And I just want to say hello, as we are streaming on a few platforms. If you are here, please give me a comment because I can't see everyone who is here depending on what platform you might be viewing from, but I should be able to see your comments. So I would love to hear from you if you are here. Hello. So I recently had shared on some of my personal social media pages a post around some guidance essentially on how to carry your energy through times when those around us or the world can be facing something traumatic. And really, I was inspired to share that as a result of a lot of my own feelings that I was navigating around what's going on in Ukraine. And this conversation is not going to be about the situation that's happening there. But this conversation is coming as a result of a conversation about what's happening there. And what happened is I shared a post about how difficult it is when we don't know what to do when there's a situation that can feel out of our control, and what can we do about it. And there were a number of things, including like how you can take action, how you can be more civically minded, if you're able to give money to certain causes that you believe in. But one of the things was a graphic that I shared around an energy spiral and around vibration. And I received a ton of feedback and questions and people who were saying, okay, wow, this was super useful, or I've never quite thought of it this way, and people that were asking questions. So I got inspired to say, let's have this conversation and take it a little bit further, because I'm seeing some ways that this really struck on some points for people in opening up our own awareness around our vibration, around our energy, around how we are being. And sometimes we can be so much in our own bubble, and we think that how we're being is just affecting like us, or we think that we're the only ones that have all these fears and challenges and issues. And really, we as humans, we are each individually responsible for ourselves, but we're also a part of a collective. And I'm aiming to bring this conversation to help you on an individual level, but also to help you strengthen your relationships to and with others, so we can all hopefully exist in greater harmony and connection with each other. And I was really reflecting and realizing, a lot of things, or a few top things came to the forefront the last few days as I was reflecting on this, about ways that we sometimes unconsciously self-sabotage our own vibration, or unconsciously how we lower our vibration. So first you might be wondering, okay, like why does vibration matter? What is that? Well, our vibration, we all operate in a vibration, an energy level. And the higher that is, when you tend to be on the end of the spectrum that has belief and enthusiasm and love and freedom, those feelings, the lighter you feel in that, the greater that you experience personal power, clarity, greater love, greater peace. You feel fuller and more trusting in how you engage your emotions and your decision making, and feeling that you are an empowered being, right? So I'll share in the links a little later what that link was to my post to show you the graphic. So what it showed is that there's an upper side of the spiral and a downward side. And so on the upward, when we're engaging feelings of joy, love, passion, enthusiasm, belief, optimism, eagerness, freedom, empowerment, that brings us higher in vibration. What can trigger us and spiral us down are feelings of pessimism, frustration, impatience, irritation, doubt, anger, jealousy, hatred, guilt, insecurity, powerlessness. Right? Like, we've all been there. We're human. On a day-to-day, you might encounter those feelings, and you can feel that it brings you down, right? And most people, at least most people I engage with, I'm grateful. I have a pretty unique network of all kinds of unique creative and, individuals. And also I really appreciate, being with people that recognize that we have a lot of control in our own way of being. And We have the ability to move ourselves up that spectrum toward love, empowerment. We can consciously choose that, right? But any of us, even if you're someone who like really embraces love, we can all have moments where, we find ourselves in that jealousy, or we're just like hanging on to stuff. And I've noticed, and I've encountered some experiences recently where I see this happening unconsciously with myself, with others. So one of those experiences was a few months back where I was singing praises of someone that I, consider a friend, someone in my network, and someone else that I mutually know, had shared, I'm a bit surprised that you're speaking so highly of that person because they said this, this, and this thing about you. And like the saying goes, take everything with a grain of salt, right? Like you never know what you hear something third party. But what I recognized about that situation, assuming it was true, it was something that happened a long time ago that this other party, this mutual person we knew, was apparently hanging on to in relation to me. And it was something that they had never brought to my attention. Like it had never been discussed, right? And so that's the first thing that I've noticed in myself when I've been engaging with others. Like if I have something that they've done to wrong me and I've held on to it, but I really recognized it with this experience. And I was like, that would, explain if that person's been holding on to this thing for a year, that might explain why they haven't really been calling or texting me back or like haven't felt as close, because they might be holding on to something that I wasn't even aware of. And so when we are hanging on to an unresolved feeling and we're staying in irritation about it, what we're doing is unconsciously, you're lowering your own vibration, right? So if you can think about a time that there's someone that maybe really something like irritated you or upset you, or you feel like they did you wrong or they hurt you, or in a professional context, like you partnered with them on a project or hired them for something and it wasn't fulfilled, and you don't give the opportunity to have that conversation with your friend, with your loved one, with the person in a professional setting, that lowers the vibration because you're not clearing the air and bringing it back into an empowered place. You're not bringing it into just clear energy, honesty, transparency. When you're hanging on to some sort of resentment toward that person, you're essentially lowering your own vibration and you're holding them in a lower vibration. And this can be very nuanced. So what I want to invite you to consider is that there's like someone in your world that maybe you used to have a better relationship with, or someone that just like you encounter a lot, like through a mutual friend group or networking. And maybe you are feeling some sort of jealousy or anger or doubt about them or insecurity. Recognize, okay, like why is that? And is that something that you're hanging on to that could be replaced with love or optimism or hopefulness? And it doesn't mean you need to like be friends with everybody, not at all. But what I'm saying is sometimes we have these situations that happen and we think that we're protecting our loved one by not addressing it, when really we brew and stew in that feeling and we make it 10 times worse. Okay, right? Is anyone with me? Like, I know I always prefer, so this some of my friends love this about me, and some of them I think that they are sometimes in a little bit of a state of fear because they're like, I know if Amber has an issue, like she's coming to talk to me about it, right? And you can do it with love, and we all get a choice in this, but I know I am someone who prefers to clear the air, clear the energy on it, so that we have, in that relationship, we have an opportunity to be together in friendship, in love. They might not agree with you. You might part ways. It is what it is. But I think that's a clean break. That's so much better holding on to resentment energy, right? Is this resonating? Oh, and I see some people here. I'm trying to see your chat. I see that there's comments, but I can't quite see them. I'll have to see them after the fact. Okay. But thank you for being here. I see numbers and it says I've got comments, and I'll have to check them on each platform after. Okay. So that's the first thing. Unresolved, hanging on to a feeling. You were maybe feeling angry with someone and they don't even know that that's what's going on. I encourage you to clear the air on it. You'll feel so much better. Okay. The second thing is when we're feeling bad. When we feel bad for people, that's this energy of sympathy. The definition of sympathy is to have pity for. We want to flip that to a higher vibration feeling, and energy around that is empathy. The definition of empathy is understanding, right? Because when we're pitying people, we're seeing them as broken or something wrong or something missing. But when we feel empathy, we are understanding and we can hold that person as a whole capable being. We all have challenges to move through. No one's perfect, and I don't think that we should be striving for perfect, right? We all grow and expand through, I mean, all the experiences we have, even some of them are just traumatic and painful. Sometimes those are the things that, do provide a person that opportunity for spiritual growth or healing or learning, right? And we can hold people with compassion and love and empathy. That doesn't require that we view them as incapable or with pity, because what that does is it lowers the vibration, not only for how you're feeling, but the vibration you're holding that person in. So how this could look, for an example. So I work with a lot of people, might be tuning in, maybe business owners, right? So if you're a business owner, this is something I've been aware of, through my journey. If a team member makes a mistake, are you saying, oh, they're just not capable, and having pity for them that they aren't capable of getting it right? Or are you coming to them in a mentorship coaching capacity to check in with them about, okay, help me understand your thought process through this and provide guidance so you understand where they're at, but you still hold the bar here for what the energy is of your organization, what they're capable of achieving. Because if I'm putting this in the context of being a leader or manager or business owner, the people that you work with, or even your clients, if you are holding them in an energy that you're pitying them and they don't know what they're doing and they rely on you, that's codependent. If you're making them codependent on you, that is a lower vibration energy. That's the opposite of empowered, because empowered says that they are whole, they are capable, and if they choose to engage in a contract with you, let's say it's a client, that's coming from a clean, empowered energy where they're choosing consciously to be in that engagement, is a different vibration energy that, again, can bring you higher up the spiral, where you feel lighter, you have greater clarity, peace, love, and joy. Now, if you don't really care about those things, then none of this is going to resonate. But the fact that you're watching, I'm going to guess that you want some greater peace, love, joy, clarity, because why not? It feels so much easier than staying in those places of resistance. So that's the second way that we unconsciously lower our vibration, is when we feel bad for people. Don't feel bad for people. You can empathize, which is understand, and you can hold the energy that views them as a whole person, a complete person as they are. That uplifts everybody. Now, the last thing is when we are in feelings of insecurity versus belief and optimism. And I particularly see this, with entrepreneurs and business owners. And, I myself have gone through this at so many stages of the journey, that imposter syndrome is real. Okay. So we need to elevate our belief and our optimism, because some people say that, coming from insecurity could be a bit of a driver because it gives you that fire to go and do a thing, but that can lead to selling and doing services out of scarcity and lack. I've seen this time and time again. I've seen when people get hooked into that insecurity feeling, and they're creating and they're selling and they're delivering from that place, it looks like fast. It looks like, I can't see no to anybody. I don't know what I'm selling. I need to sell them whatever they will buy. That's an insecurity energy versus an empowered belief and optimism energy. It brings greater calm. It has more stability, and it's that trust in yourself and what you have to offer. And when you stay in that vibration, it attracts and aligns with and gives trust, builds greater trust with people to work with you in that way. Oh, we're having a dog party outside the window. I don't know if you can hear the dog. He's barking. So, I had an example. Let's see if I can remember my example. I think here's what I'll share. Okay. Dunning-Kruger effect. If you haven't heard of that, it is this theory that says a lot of people that are highly capable, there's this theory when they become entrepreneurs that what happens is they come out of the gate and they have you have optimism So your skill can be up here, but your belief in yourself can be here as a business owner. So your skill is higher, your belief is lower. Sometimes new entrepreneurs can start with that excitement and that momentum where you come out of the gate and you're excited, you're like building a new thing, you go land a few clients, you're having some successes with your clients. And then all of a sudden, like after a few weeks, a few months, it's not new anymore. And what Dunning-Kruger effect explains is there's two parts. So the one part is a lot of people who are very capable, they actually sink down into imposter syndrome where they underestimate what they're actually capable of. So the Dunning-Kruger effect is where people who actually have a low skill level way overinflate their belief in themselves. And this is when they actually don't have enough skill to do a thing and they think that they are way more capable. And then what happens is over time, their belief like kind of comes to balance out where their skill level is actually at. And so the opposite of that is what I see with a lot of like heart-centered visionary type entrepreneurs, where they actually sell themselves short, where their potential and their abilities are here, and yet they are believing in themselves way down here. And so a way to combat this is to write down every single day, what are your celebrations? What are the things that you have helped people accomplish, achieve, the way that you've helped people through your business? What are the successes? What are the wins? We need to make those 10 times bigger and louder than every seed of doubt, because you need your belief and optimism to consistently be at a higher vibration and to be bigger, to keep you in that higher elevation more so than in a place of insecurity. And that's just a very tactical way to do it, is what I call your badass list. And you make that list of all the times that you did something badass and you really helped someone in a positive way. And that's going to help you recognize on the day-to-day, like all the ways that you actually have accomplished something and that you can feel that optimism. So I hope that there's something that you take away from this, because energy affects everything, like how we feel about ourselves, about our clients, about our work. It's an underlying current, but it impacts everything. And if you've ever had a day where like you just are struggling to believe in yourself and you're not producing, or you're not like showing up as connected on team calls or whatever the case, and you've experienced that impact of energy and what that can do. And so I hope that this helps you to be mindful of some of those unconscious ways that we can lower our vibration, because the more conscious we can make that, you can consciously choose how you're being in your day-to-day. Like, we are each empowered to make those choices. It's okay if you have an off day. This isn't about like toxic positivity. It's not about ignoring when we feel kind of crappy, but it's about recognizing it and calling it for what it is, and recognizing that you don't need to sit in that, but you do have a choice in like, is it a conversation that needs to be had? Something that, a relationship that needs to be healed? We always have a choice in it, because empowered choice, remember, is what sits at the higher end of the vibration. And we always have that choice. So let me know what resonated, if any part of this, if you're taking away from those 3 tips that I offered, and hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. All right. Bye.